And now, RSM, the Ram Sports Magazine Show.
Good evening and welcome to RSM, Ram Sports Magazine Show. I'm your host, Anthony Keith. The CSU volleyball squad ended the Mountain West Conference regular season with a 12-2 mark, giving them the #1 seed to the championship tournament. First up on their slate, Air Force this Friday. So naturally, I had to talk one-on-one with head coach Tom Hilbert earlier this week. How important was this win this past weekend in Albuquerque, getting a taste of that environment?
Well, you know, having tough matches in the venue where you're going to play the Mountain West tournament is a real benefit to us. I mean, that's significantly better than us getting an easy walk through a match there. So, you know, we had a tough weekend, but it raised our competitive level, and you know, hopefully we respond well to that and go in and play a great Mountain West tournament.
What is the environment like at the Johnson Center? Is there anything you worry about with this environment?
Not really. I mean, it's a good court. It's well lit. It's you know, they've been drawing pretty well, and I would expect that with the Mountain West tournament they get a pretty good fan following. So I think it'll be a good place to play. You know, we're in New Mexico's side of the bracket. I think the New Mexico-Wyoming match is going to be a war, and whoever comes out of that's going to be game ready to hopefully play us the next night.
This Air Force team winless. What are you telling the girls so that they don't overlook this Falcon team? Well,
we have certain things we're going to work on during the match to try to get the right kind of repetition and the right kind of practice. And we need to also get, it's our time, it's our opportunity to take advantage of learning the facility and the environment, you know what I mean, so we can serve and pass well in there.
So not to down Air Force, but looking at this Falcon matchup, is it essentially a warm-up looking ahead to, you know, either New Mexico, Wyoming?
It's a real match, and we have to face it like it's a real match. But there are things you can learn with every match you play, and so we will go into it trying to focus on certain things and trying to get better at certain things.
Did you treat practice differently this week preparing for the tournament?
We actually did, because these matches, you know, you play somebody for the third time, then you play another person the next night, another person the next night. We probably worked on more of our own stuff this week than we normally do in a regular conference week, which was good. And we tried to keep it short and intense and keep our, so that the legs are fresh and then we go into this weekend fresh.
Ending the regular season, did you end it the way that you wanted to? Or what are you taking away from the regular season and applying to this tournament?
Well, you know, it's a typical Mountain West Conference race. You know, nobody goes undefeated. Some people are just difficult to beat in their own venues, and we knew that, and so we took a couple of lumps during the conference race, but you know, those things, they shape you, and they hopefully make you a better team in the long run.
Obviously, you guys are amazing at Moby. I mean, hands down, you've proven that you can beat just about anybody here. Going on the road, what's made it so difficult? You know, you've got the tournament on the road, too. Why have you dropped 4 on the road?
You know, because we're a team that relies a lot on how well we serve and block. And if we falter in those 2 areas and have to play, you know, ball handling and defense with people, that's a great equalizer, especially for a home team. And, you know, we need to find a way to draw energy from each other in those situations and play through long rallies if we're going to win in hostile environments if we don't serve and block well.
It's the first time since 2007 the tournament's coming back. You're searching for the program's 5th title. What do you guys have to do to claim it?
Well, we've gotten a title already. The regular season title is ours. The tournament title I look at as separate. It is the automatic qualification, and we want to win that. What we have to do is go play with great energy and great focus and match or go beyond our opponents in those 2 areas, in energy and focus. That's hard to do when every other team is playing for their life. But we have to do it, and that's essentially what I'm telling my team right now.
What I've heard in practice and throughout the season is playing at those critical moments. How much has this team changed since the beginning of the season to now? Are they able to do that?
We do it sometimes, and sometimes we don't. You know what I mean? It depends on what we have to do in those critical moments. And you know, we're a pretty good end game team in certain matches, in certain situations, and other times we're not. And you know, but you learn every time. You learn every day. You learn every time you go through a match like that. And I'm hoping that, you know, we have improved. I think we were better last Saturday than we were the previous Thursday. So, you know, let's just keep improving.
What do you feel you've learned and improved from these past 2 matches? One was a loss, one was a 3-2 victory.
How to play over a long period of time. You know, you can't expect every match to be a 3-match sweep, and you got to be able to play through the duration of a 5-game match. I think we learned that over the weekend with having 2 of them on the same weekend. It's the first time that's happened, so that was good for us.
How confident are you in your team, you know, taking this tournament title?
I'm very confident that we are going to go play very good volleyball down in Albuquerque. We can't control what other teams do, but I think we will play well.
Anything else you wanted to add about the Johnson Center, this tournament itself, as you prepare to head out?
Well, it's going to be it's televised on the Mountain and CBS College Sports. It's a premier event for the weekend for college volleyball, so people should watch it.
The tournament gets underway this Friday in Albuquerque, New Mexico, as the #1 seeded Rams take on the #8 seed Falcons. Coming up next on the show, I dive into basketball. Stay tuned.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
Welcome back to the show, Rams fans. The CSU basketball team suffered their first loss of the regular season this week against Stanford in the NIT tip-off tournament. However, I want to take this time to take a look back at their first game of the season against Montana. Here's a recap.
I would love it to be a ballet, and you know, this graceful, beautiful performance, and that was more of a street fight. There's no doubt about it. And, I'll take it any way we can get it. But with this team, what I liked about it, I really thought we dug in and guarded, something we haven't showed in game. We've done it well in practice at times, and we hadn't showed it in our 2 exhibition games. So it's always nice to win when you feel like you've got things to work on. And I thought that's what happened tonight. You know, you walk out of there, oh, we didn't do this very well, we didn't do that very well, but, you know, we find a way to, after the first 7 or 8 minutes, control that game and hold them off at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we're going to have to pride ourselves on this year to be successful, is playing that scrappy defense. That's one of the better, that was way better than our exhibition, so we're pretty pleased with that. It's always good to start off with a win, but at the same time, we know what's ahead of us. We got a tough stretch here going to Palo Alto, and I mean, we got bigger things on our mind right now. So it's good to get that first win, and we're looking forward to going out there and winning. So we're never going to be the most talented team or the most athletic team or you know, the fastest or the biggest. So executing game plans is going to be huge for us coming down and going through our season, especially in this preseason. We got a tough schedule, so we're going to pride ourselves on that, and we got a lot of guys who have experience, so that's kind of what we're looking for. Well, we call it no-holds basketball. A lot of moving the basketball across the perimeter and driving closeouts, and then probably one of the bigger things is, I don't see the stats, but getting to the foul line a lot, attacking the rim. That's going to be key for us this year too, offensively.
That's something you guys did pretty well in the first half.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we missed a few free throws, but I mean, we got to get there to, you know, that's something coach has been emphasizing. So we're being aggressive.
You guys did get there 29.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as we go throughout the year, we're going to pride ourselves on outworking the other team every game, and every team that comes against us is knowing that if they don't bring their best, they're not going to. I mean, they're going to be in for a battle. So. I think all year long we're really going to pride ourselves on outworking the opponent.
So there's a Ken Pomeroy's got a stat that shows in the last 2 years I think we're 19-2 in times where our free throw attempts equal 45 or 47% of our field goal attempts. Tonight it was way above that, if you see that. And we're 19-2 in those games. So for us, getting the foul line is we want to, that is a huge part of our offense. When we don't get to the foul line, I'm worried. And we might be going out making threes like crazy, and I'm yelling at them about driving in there, throwing it into the post. We got to do a better job throwing it into the post. we have to do a better job of, we're doing a lot of screen and roll stuff where you stand in space, and then when it breaks down at the end and the guys aren't quite as sharp, we're just all standing there. Got to have some other things by design that I'm going to have in tomorrow, and get us going, to keep us on the hop.
Because you want the pace to stay as high.
Yeah, I do. But it's hard to play 8 guys and, not stand around a little bit too with those guys, And that's really, I think, what we did tonight. I mean, 7 guys, sizable minutes. I mean, you look at, we really played a heck out of 7 guys.
Does that worry you this early?
I'm a coach, I'm Irish, and I'm Catholic, so everything worries me.
Next up on Tim Miles' plate, Southern Miss this Friday. Coming up next on the show, I jump from basketball to football. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
Welcome back to RSM. The CSU football team only has 3 games left in the regular season. This Saturday, the Rams are set to face TCU a week after the Horned Frogs upset the Boise State Broncos. Here's head coach of the Rams, Steve Fairchild, at his weekly press conference.
With regards to last Saturday's game, defensively, I thought we did a good job. We knew going into the game we were going to have to stop the run, stop Ronnie Hillman. We certainly didn't, completely shut him out, but we held him down, which we knew we had to do to win. I was real pleased with how physical our defense football team, particularly our front 7, played. I thought that really had an impact on the game. Obviously, we weren't as good on 3rd down as we'd like to be, and they extended some drives, and that's an area we got to shore up. Special teams wise, when you look at the tape, the effort was fantastic. The guys really playing hard in all areas there. We can do things a little bit better, a little bit smarter in some of our lanes. We've got some things to correct there, but that to me, just the effort we're playing on special teams is something to be see as a positive. Offensively, we felt like we had to come in and establish a run. We did that. Thought Chris Wilke took another major step forward, just the way he was finishing runs and the attitude he was carrying the ball with. Obviously, we turned the ball over twice, and that did hurt us. But, we're disappointed in the outcome, but there are some things that we feel are positive, things we can build on, keep heading forward as we look forward this week to TCU. No, he'll have plenty of time down the road, I think, if that's a possibility. I know even a long time ago when I played, I think, a redshirt my 4th year, so there's a way to help him out at some point. We'll do it, but it was the right move. You'd come close during the season to put him in. So, he'll play now. He'll play some in every game.
I was going to say now.
Yeah, we've got to commit to him. Even when Pete's back, be it this week or next week, whenever, I think Garrett deserves the right to play in the games, and we'll do that.
So do we know the severity of Pete's injury?
Yeah, it's a knee sprain. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's not my job to be an expert on that, but I would imagine it's somewhat like what Paul Madsen did. It'll keep him out maybe this week. Who knows? Maybe not. We'll see. I don't know so much on the film. I just on the sidelines, he's very calm demeanor, very sure of himself. The game wasn't too big for him, for his first time out there. So I was pleased in that regard. They've done a nice job. I still say this is a fairly talented offensive line. It's got a real big upside. We have been banged around pretty good, and so one thing you like at that position is keeping the guys in there playing next to each other, and so some continuity in terms of calls and those sorts of things. But they did a nice job. We were able to get on a fairly complicated defense, get on the people we needed to do, and get Chris Wilke started, which is half the battle. And then Chris, like I said, Chris did a nice job finishing. Well, their speed, number one. That's what jumps out at you. And you certainly don't want to get lulled to sleep, thinking it's a 4-2 structure, because it's anything but a 6-man front. It's it's a 7, it can be an 8, it can be a 9-man front, depending on your personnel and your alignments. So it's it can number the run game, you know, differently than San Diego State, but similar in numbers. So they can make it tough sledding running the football. There's no question about that.
Up next on the show, hear from CSU players as they prepare for their final road trip of the regular season.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
Welcome back to Rams Sports Magazine Show. 2 huge announcements came out of practice earlier this week for the CSU football team. First off, linebacker Michael Sisson will return to play after being sidelined since September after suffering a broken ankle against UNC. First big thing, I mean, come on, you're 30 miles away from the hometown. What does this Saturday mean to you, being able to get in?
It means a lot, you know, to me and to the team, you know, just to see me come back. And just being back home, you know, and playing against kind of a home crowd. So it just feels good, and I'm excited to be out there.
How hard has it been being on the sidelines these past few games, seeing the team come so close and just dropping so many?
It's hurt me a lot, you know, especially because just sitting there watching and knowing that you don't have nothing to do to help that out, you know, or change the outcome. So it just hurt me tremendously just watching just fall short at the end like that.
Yeah, no matter what your status, would you have gone in this game against TCU no matter what?
No matter what, you know, I always said this is going to be the game to come back to, you know, and I feel that I'll be ready for the game this week too. So I have my eyes set on this game, you know, and I got ready for it, and I'm preparing for it.
What are you looking forward to most with this TCU team? Is it playing in front of some family? Is it just playing with the team again? What's the big thing?
Just playing with my teammates again, you know, especially this is my last year, you know, especially to get these last 3 games in with them. It just means a lot for me just to come back, you know, and just be able to help lead, you know, on the field.
Sisson's hometown is Duncanville, Texas, only 30 miles away from TCU's campus. Saturday's game will be somewhat of a homecoming for the senior leader. The other piece of big news, Garrett Grayson will be getting the start after Pete Thomas was injured against San Diego State with a sprained knee. Thomas wasn't in pads during practice earlier this week, and Grayson says he's ready to step it up.
So you feel different? Has this week felt different?
Yeah, definitely. Preparation-wise, I mean, I've always felt like I was preparing like the starter, but now I really feel like, you know, watching film, I haven't watched film this much I've done this last week, these last couple of days. I mean, so I've never watched that much film. Obviously, there's more work that goes into it being the starter, but I feel comfortable with it and way more confident going into this game than obviously getting thrown in last week. So
you said he hasn't seen like that deer in the headlight looks from you yet. You think it might come, or you feel pretty comfortable with the way things are going?
I feel comfortable with the way things are going now, to be honest. The first drive last week, if he would have, I don't know if he saw me, but I feel like that was the deer in the headlights look, and then everything started to calm down and slow down for me, but I feel a lot more confident going into this game. So.
Did you feel almost blessed? You get to make your first collegiate start against like a so-so defense against TCU?
Yeah. I was talking with my parents about that, you know, and they were like giving me a hard time. Oh, it's TCU, you know, and I was like, yeah. But, you know, they played high school football just like I did, you know, they come from the same backgrounds, you know, so hopefully I can go out there and just be a guy and compete.
Yesterday you said you had the best practice that you've ever had. Did you think you built on that today?
I don't think I had as good of a practice today, to be honest, but I still feel like I got better, and like I just stayed after practice just now with Thomas, so I couldn't hit him on a deep ball today during practice, so he stayed back there and got the timing down, and we were perfect after practice. So.
What's the chemistry been like with these guys? I mean, you stepping into this role this week.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been behind me. They've all been, you know, cheering me on and whatnot. Like after the game when I fumbled last week, they all, you know, came up to me and told me to keep my head up. You know, they're behind me. And Drew Riley, my roommate, was actually, you know, the whole time, hey, I believe in you, man. I believe in you. So that helped me a lot going into the game, built up my confidence. And this week, everybody's been giving me a hard time. Oh, the starter, you know, blah, blah. But it's been fun. So
built up your confidence. What's your confidence like? I mean, it's TCU.
Yeah. Obviously, going in there, you know they're a talented defense. They got NFL caliber guys on their defense, so you got to be perfect on what you're doing. That's my expectations, is to be perfect out there. And like my dad said, this is my time to shine. So I hopefully take it and run with it.
What are the things you still need to work on the most the next couple days to be ready to play that game?
Just getting the timing down with receivers, really, that's been the biggest thing. I've never really thrown with the ones, you know, so just getting that down this week has been kind of an issue. Today it was more relevant than yesterday, but I think that right now would be probably the biggest issue.
Yeah, I'm walking fine, not walking with a limp anymore, doing a bunch of rehab and treating it and everything, but yeah, haven't really gotten up to full speed, which isn't that fast in first place.
Can you feel it when you plan on those throws?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really been stepping into throws or hitching up or anything, but yeah, you can tell that it's not fully there.
So do you have any empathy for Grayson in his first start coming against TCU, remembering what your first start against TCU was like?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's TCU. It would be nicer if we weren't playing a team of that caliber, but he's here for a reason. I know he's been preparing good. We've been watching some film together and everything, and I think he'll do fine.
What do you do to kind of help him out? I mean, you obviously learned some things last year going against that defense. Are there any tips you can give him, or is that stuff you've been trying to feed him?
It's a little different with how they run that 4-2-5 and that nickel guy. It's a little different than normal defense, but I think he'll do fine. Coach are preparing him well.
After this last game, do you have new personal goals for yourself?
Definitely. I mean, there's always things I need to work on, so I definitely, just going to go in this game and give it my all, trust my blockers, and just believe in each other. So,
talk about, those big runs you had last game, watching yourself on tape, seeing that happen, what'd you really take away from it?
Just that, that's what trusting your blockers do. And when you be patient, wait for that hole to open and explode, do it. There's good things to happen when you trust your blockers. So,
all the changes on offense for this upcoming game, are you guys going to work well with that? Are you worried about anything?
No, we'll be all right. I mean, we trust each other, and any guy here, practicing is going to get the job done because we believe in each other. So we have faith. So.
That will do it this week for RSM, but next week I'll have a recap of the CSU women's basketball game against in-state rival CU. Not only that, but I'll check in with the volleyball team after their Mountain West Conference tournament. Catch you next week.